People don't even think. People don't even think. Does anybody think? What's happening? Hey, wait a second. My dear black Americans, take a second think. I'm not a racist. You can't call me a racist, but my color is brown. We had worse racism in India, still there, which is we call it casteism. You had 300 years, we had 5,000 years only of casteism. Then ruled huge chunks of the nations, ruled by Muslim invasion, and before that, kings who people were just chattel for them, used and thrown. These are stories and history which we cover very, very nicely. Very, very nicely. Even in small princedoms of, little princedoms of India's history, if a man got married, his wife slept the first night with the Lord and not with him. What do you call that? What do you call that? When people who were below a caste, you firstly divided the people into, and if you are a woman belonging to that caste, you were allowed to cover your lower, but you were not allowed to cover your upper half, because that was only given to the women of the higher caste. What do you call that? Slavery. When did that stop in Kerala? What caused the outrage? Because a woman had to take a knife and cut her breast off and offer it as this thing to the deity, and then there was an uproar, right? It's like the ancient days when that saint was killed in the arena, Christian, that poor old man. That's when the whole thing, people were conscious and people stopped of throwing people to the lions. So you need to realize these things are there, but things have to be done in a way which is very peaceable. Very peaceable. This thing doesn't help anybody. It does not help you. It actually hurts the black community. Let's forget America. What is the picture that is going across the entire world? That they are violent and they burn, they loot, they rob, which is not true. Every man under the sun, whatever his color, if he is not saved and the Holy Spirit doesn't lead him, he is violent. That's all. Some have only got better control, that's all. But the picture that's going on is there any voice? Anybody thinking? Why is that every city where the riots are taking place, from Baltimore to New York, how come the African American community is not taking a step back and thinking, wait a second, all these cities where the riots are going on and all the city where this abuse is supposed to be taken place are actually ruled by Democrats. Hey, hang on. Some cities as long as for 50 years. These are not taking place in red cities. These are taking place in blue cities. But that means you elected these people, right? So who is to blame? Who is to blame? Because you get what you choose. Most of America, other than actually looking at the TV and the picture, most of America, which is the countryside, the red, they are sleeping happily. There's no trouble there. There's no riots over there. And if there are blacks and whites, they are living happily together. There's no issues over there. Are you taking a step back and thinking what's happening in your nation? Because we are far away. We can look back and see very clearly what's happening in your nation, what has been happening in your nations. The Democratic Party is the new plantation. You need to realize. They don't want you to prosper, like the politicians in India doesn't want India to be literate, because they know if you have a people who think, then they will start questioning, what are you doing? So politicians thrive on ignorance. Ignorance. That's why they want to control the media, because if you control the media, then you control the thinking of the people. And if you look at the media, all the media is leftist. All the media is leftist. And they have an agenda to keep people in slavery. It's a modern slavery. Modern slavery. People don't think. And ultimately, who will end up paying for this? The black community. It's sad. Because it's their businesses that have been burned down. It's their children who will be picked up. You think they will not pick you up? They will pick you up. And if they don't pick you up, isn't it bad for you? You broke into a store and you stole. You already have sowed something in the spirit. Now the only way you can cancel out is by returning it. It doesn't matter what the color of your skin is. You have broken God's law. It will come back to haunt you all your life. And one man called Zacchaeus knew it. If I want to start a new beginning, I need to give it back. And the media is sitting there and cheering. Do you know what you have done to these children? Whatever the color, whether they are white, black or Hispanic, what you have done to these children? You didn't teach these children that you will not lie. You will not steal. It's somebody's property. Doesn't matter, you may not like them. That's irrelevant. It does not belong to you. You were never taught this. You do not take something that, you know what you have done to these young children? You have done to, even if they are not caught, even if you change your laws so that they are sent scot-free, they are still not free. But there is another law that overrides every human law, which is God's law, the truth. Thou shalt not steal. Period. You know what's happening? This is how it happens. This is what we are talking about, truth, and how the modern system have taken truth as an absolute and gives it something as relative. Oh, this is what caused me to do that. That doesn't change anything, brother. It does not change anything. Change anything. Why are they not talking about social distancing now? You locked up everybody, everything you locked up. Why is nobody talking about social distancing? Why? Because if pandemic COVID-19 is fatal, it doesn't matter what is causing you, you should be imposing that keep your distance. So, you're wicked, you're evil. You know why? Because 13% of America's population is black, but 26% of the COVID casualties are black. It's highly disproportionate to their population because certain races they have understood are more susceptible to this disease, and one of them is the black community. So who are the ones on the streets without maintaining social distancing? If you love the black people, you should be telling them, go in. You're more vulnerable to this disease than the others. Go in, children, go in. Don't die. For these people, these politicians and your leaders, you are just gun fodder. They don't love you. They don't care for you. You mean nothing to them. You know what the term gun fodder is? This is from the old days when they used to fight. They used to send waves and waves of young people till the enemy finished their bullets. And then they told the next set to charge. So one whole set just died so the enemy could run out of bullets, and they were called gun fodder. And that's what people are. That's what people are. And I get so angry because I don't see any black pastors standing up and speaking, because they are so worried about their tax exemption. You know what happened? The casualties will go up. And nobody will even mention about it, because if it mentions casualties have gone up, it will look bad on them, right? So they will not mention it is COVID-19. They will die. The evil people who are pulling strings from the back. But the question is, can you hear? When emotions run high, can you hear? Can you hear? Say, anybody there who will stand up and say, hey, hang on, I just really love you. That's what I said, you can't call me a racist. I'm not racist. I've got orphan children. They are orphans and they are my children, and they are of every color, black, white, Arab, Chinese. They're all my children. They all call me Daddy PJ. They're all my children. I don't see them differently at all. There's no color at all. They're all my children, and all of them are orphans. And they keep Because there's no race in the kingdom. There's no race in the